Welcome back, athletes. When it comes to transformation, recovery is just as important as our training sessions. Now, we don't oftentimes think of it this way. We think that more is more, but that's not true. When we give our body the opportunity to recover, we can then start to build and start to see that lean body mass that we desire. You see, every single time we train, whether that's lifting weights or doing the high intensity workouts, we create small micro damages in the muscle tissue. And when the body has that opportunity to heal itself and build up on itself, we start to see that lean body mass, that muscle definition that we desire, and then of course that releasing of weight that comes along with it. Now, there's many ways to recover. First, we want to make sure that we get adequate sleep and that our sleep is restful. We want to make sure that we are well hydrated and that we are replenishing the body with nutrition that serves us, that will give us those building blocks that we need to build that lean body mass. Now, when it comes to training, what we also want to do is make sure that we are incorporating recovery workouts. I like to leave every single workout with a little bit of gas left in the tank. This helps me recover and helps me show up at the next training session with a lot of energy. Today, we're going to do a 12-minute recovery workout. This is a low-impact workout. Now, if you are new here, go ahead and subscribe so that we keep training together. Make sure you also share this workout with a friend so that you have an accountability partner. All you're going to need to follow along today is just your mat. Now, this is a wild card workout. We're working for 45 seconds. We are resting for 15 seconds, keeping all of the movements low impact over those 12 minutes. I'll show you your first movement, then coming up, you're gonna check this box above and then find what is coming up next. All right, athletes, let's get down to the mat. This is our first movement today. It is a quadruped. Now, we're going to get onto a tabletop position, making sure the wrists, the elbows, and the shoulders are in line. And we're gonna lift up the right leg. We're gonna drop the hip. Then we're gonna lift up the arm. And then we're gonna lift up both at the same time and just count to 6 and then lower it. We're working within that 45-second interval, but we really wanna create that contraction for 6 seconds before releasing. All right, athletes, so let's get to it. In 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, right leg up, drop the hip, and then both up. Now I'm gonna keep reminding you to drop the hip, 3, 2, 1, and now come back up. Because what we wanna do is make sure that the hip is neutral. If you're finding yourself up here or down here, just try to square off the hips. I like to look, break, and up. I like to look at the hips and really make sure that they're always level and break. Right leg up, hip down, left arm up, both up for 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and break. And up. Drop the hips and up. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and break. All right, now we're gonna switch to the other side, the exact same thing. Now this is actually a muscle activation technique. And so muscle activation allows us to create stability in the body and reduce injury. 3, 2, 1, and up. Left leg up, drop the hip, and now both up. So when we're seated for a long time, and break. Left leg up, drop the hips, right up, because the majority of the time we're either driving or sitting at our desks and more or less living a sedentary sort of lifestyle. Break. Around some of the regular tasks that we do, drop the hip, right arm up. We tend to deactivate the muscles, and so this sets us up for injury. And break. Left leg up, drop the hip, both up. And not only does it set us up for injury and break, let's go for one last one, up. But it also starts to create instability in the joints and break. All right, now we're going to get onto the back and we're gonna come up for a hip lift, also holding up for 6 seconds. So just go ahead and reach the heels here. We're gonna push up, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back down. And so this is another muscle activation technique. And if you notice so far, we're working the posterior chain. So these are all the muscles in the back of the body, and up. And these are the muscles that are most commonly turned off and giving rise to back pain, to shoulder pain, to neck pain, and essentially instability. Break, and then come back up. And I'm watching here my timer, and I'm holding for 6 counts. You can go a little bit more, but you really do want to stay around that 6 count mark and break. All right, last one, all the way up. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and break. All right, now let's come back into a plank position, and we're going to do a spinal wave. So coming into the plank position, we're gonna push, trying to imagine we're pushing one vertebra at a time, really rolling slowly, and then engaging the core, lifting up the core to do the movement for us. And so during these recovery workouts, the objective is really to keep the body activated, and then maybe even try something a little bit different. So if you're usually doing high impact or you're doing mostly high cardio, then it's a great opportunity to switch it up, do some yoga, and avoid stretching. And if you notice, we don't really talk about a lot of stretching here, because what I've learned over the last few years is that stretching creates instability in the body, it deactivates the muscle, and then creates a lot of pain. And last one, and break. All right, amazing. Now let's come up onto the side. And so at the same time, you're gonna come up onto the elbow and keep that bottom leg bent. We're gonna come up, bring the knee and elbow together, and then come back down. So up, knee and elbow together, and come back down. So we're working that bottom leg, and then also working the core, not only on this bottom side here, but also the top, as we're crunching through that top leg and the elbow. That's it. Continue to breathe here. Good job. And now I'm feeling the body, and if you notice, I am moving very slowly and in control. 3, 2, 1, and break. All right, now we're gonna stay here. Bring that top leg behind you, and now bring this bottom leg nice and straight, and you wanna make sure that you're going to stay on the soft side of the bum. And now we're gonna lift up the leg up and down, and now we're activating the inner thigh. So I'm at a slightly oblique angle here, really making sure that I'm not on that hard part of the hip. We have our bone here on the bottom that becomes very uncomfortable if we're putting all of our body weight on it. So just make sure that you're a little bit off that hip joint, and then really just focus on this movement. I'm already feeling the inside of the legs, the adductors, which again, we oftentimes don't really think about training. And this is ideal for this recovery workout today. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, let's switch over to the other side. And now we're gonna do the exact same thing. Bend that bottom knee. We're gonna come up and then bring the knee and elbow together. Come back down. And then again, do that crunch and just move with control here with me. This is not about speed. It's really just about control. That's it. Nicely done. Continue to breathe. And now focus on oxygenating the muscles and really sending that breath throughout the body. And again, moving with control. And break. All right, now let's go ahead and elongate that bottom leg, put that top leg behind, and then again, find that soft spot on the bum. And now keep the leg to the side. So if you notice, I'm trying to keep my foot parallel to the floor here, not leading with the heels or with the toes, and then just keeping that contraction, really focusing on that inner thigh. Now, if you wanna bring it up a notch, keep your foot off the floor. Don't let it touch the floor throughout the entire movement, and then move with control. The slower you move today, the more you'll actually connect with every muscle fiber, really activating the body and just helping the body recover by moving gently versus that high intensity. Good job, nicely done. We're gonna get into a prayer push-up next, and I'm gonna show you a few versions. 3, 2, 1. So you're gonna come up onto that plank position and go ahead and get into the forearms in that plank position, low plank position, and you can come up onto the hands. Also, you can drop the knees here. And then if you want to even bring it up just a little bit more of a modified position, lift your hips up a little bit higher, taking your body weight off of the forearm. So I'm going to come over here today. I'm going to give this a try today, and knowing that I can modify it anytime if I choose to. And if you notice, I'm primarily moving my upper body up and down, really focusing on my upper body doing the work. And again, you have that opportunity to drop down onto the knees, get into more of a tabletop position if you wish. And this is now working the core, but also getting the triceps and the shoulders. 3, 2, 1, and break. Oh, that was definitely a doozy. All right, now let's go ahead and get into a down dog position. And these are now down dog buckle unders. So get into that down dog position, drop the knees, and then come on up. So we have a little bit of an extension in the lower body that creates some tension in the posterior chain. And now really important here that you're pushing through the space between the thumb and the index finger, and then moving with control. That's it, continue to breathe. Good work, athletes. You got this. That's it. Gentle touch with the knees. Then extend, really feeling those quads, but also getting a nice elongation in the posterior chain, and break. All right, we're gonna go ahead and flip over onto the back now. And I'm gonna go ahead and face you this way right now. And we're gonna go for a bicycle crunch. So push that low back into the floor. And then take your time to just extend the leg. If you notice, I'm going very slowly with control. And you may see this movement elsewhere much faster, but I'll ask you to slow down. Again, really connecting the breath to the body, creating mindfulness around every single movement, connecting with every muscle fiber. And ultimately, you're creating a very different type of stress on the body, moving slowly without that high intensity or high impact. 3, 2, 1, and break. All right, we're gonna do a fish pose leg raise next. So come up onto your forearms. You can place your hands under the sacrum if you wish, and now keep that back flat. And then just stay in control here. And as you drop the legs, try to stay nice and tight in the core so that you don't strain the low back. You should not be feeling this in the low back. And then keep the heels off the floor, so hover just a few inches off the floor. And then continue to breathe. Inhale as you expand. Exhale as you bring the legs up. Moving with control, trying to keep those legs straight. Being mindful of the low back. Maybe extending through the chest just a bit more if you're feeling that low back. 10 more seconds, that's it. Continue to move with control here with me. A few more. 3, 2, 1, and rest. We made it. Good work, athletes. Good job for always showing up for you with love and kindness. Remember that if you have this in you, go ahead and repeat one more time, or check out the other videos I have linked for you at the end of this one to complete today's training. I love to hear from you, so comment below, how was this, and what else would you like to see? And remember, athletes, go ahead and like this video, and if you're new here, let's subscribe so that we keep training together. All right, let's go. Refuel, rehydrate, get good sleep, and let's meet up in the next one. You got this.